Hey everyone, I'm Haley and today I'm going to be showing you how to make some delicious old-fashioned bread pudding with a vanilla sauce. So let's get started. The first thing we have to do is make the pudding mixture, which we are going to pour over our bread cubes. So I have half a cup of salted butter, and I'm just going to plop, put that in a saucepan. And then I have 4 cups of milk, and I am also going to pour that in my saucepan very, very carefully. So with this measuring cup, I have to slowly pour my milk in because otherwise it'll like run down the side. But while I'm doing that, I'm just going to go ahead and heat my saucepan to medium heat. And oh, there's the last of the milk. And I'm just going to stir this all together until the butter melts. It should take about 4 minutes. All right, so I don't know about you, but I'm a multitasker and I cannot sit still and wait for this butter to melt. So I'm going to go ahead and combine the rest of my ingredients for the sauce. We're going to start with 4 large whole eggs, and I'm just gonna lightly beat these before I put them in the bowl. And I'm gonna pour that in my bowl. I'm so sorry. And then I am also going to pour in 1 cup of granulated sugar, 1 teaspoon of ground nutmeg, and along with that, I'm going to add not 1, but 2 tablespoons of vanilla extract. And this seems like a lot of vanilla extract, and that's because it is. You know, vanilla extract is never like bad in dessert. And now I'm just going to whisk all those ingredients together. If you don't have a whisk, you can also just stir these together with a spoon. It's not a big deal. Multitasking in the kitchen at its best. And I know they say multitasking is a myth, but that's for the weak people. I'm not weak. I can multitask if I want to. Oh, okay, I'm spilling some milk over here. Okay, I'm stirring my spoon around in the milk and I feel no more lumps of butter. So that means that my butter is melted and we're all done stirring that. So I'm going to turn off the heat and take it off the heat and let that cool for a little bit before we combine it with our other sauce ingredients. And make sure that while your buttermilk, I called it buttermilk because it's butter and milk, but my 2 words became one. I'm gonna say milk butter. Make sure that when your milk butter mixture is cooling down, you stir it every once in a while to take the heat from underneath and bring it back to the top. All right, my milk butter mixture has been cooling in the fridge for about 5 minutes, and it does not have to be completely cool. You just want it not hot. Now I'm going to very carefully add my milk butter mixture into the rest of my sauce ingredients. That was easier than I thought. Just scrape the sides and get all that goodness in there. Yes. Yes, sir. We do want all of that goodness. Done. Also, I left my sauce in the pot while it was cooling down, but if you transferred it to another bowl, it would probably cool down a lot faster. Now I'm just going to combine all of those ingredients together. Whisk, 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 whisk. I am using a whisk once again. Whisk it around, whisk it around. And once you have all of your sauce ingredients mixed together, we are going to assemble and bake. Scooch-a-dooch. Scooch over there. Right, now for the most important part of the bread pudding. Possibly, okay, it's arguable, but the main ingredient in the bread pudding is the bread. So I have 8 cups of bread that I have just like sort of cubed, but it does not have to be exact. You can just honestly rip it up into little pieces. It does not matter. And I am using cinnamon raisin swirl bread because it's gonna have a nice cinnamon flavor and we'll get some extra raisins, but you can use whatever bread you have on hand. But just make sure that the bread you're using is stale or day-old bread because it just soaks up the bread pudding mixture a lot better and it creates better results. And if you really want to make bread pudding but you don't have any stale bread, then you can sit your bread out all day or overnight, or you can preheat your oven to 350 degrees and toast it for 8 to 10 minutes until it's like hard and stale but not crispy. That should work. So I'm going to be making this in a 3-quart glass baking dish, and I am going to pour in my bread cubes. All right, then next, I have 1 cup of raisins, and I am going to sprinkle that on top. All right, I kind of just clumped it all together, and that's okay because we're gonna stir it around to make sure it's all evenly combined. I want everybody to get some raisins in there. I guess you could say that everything about bread pudding is the best part. Is it the bread? Is it the raisins? Is it the sauce? Is it the icing? Comment down below. What do you think? Yeah, okay, I said I was gonna use this spoon, but I'm actually just using my hands. And make sure that you grease your pan before you put the breadcrumbs in, otherwise that would be a total mess. And I used just some butter to grease it. And then once you got all your breadcrumbs and your raisins nicely, evenly spread in your pan, we're gonna pour all of the sauce mixture evenly over it. As evenly as possible. This is kind of hard. It looks like a very gross bread soup right now, but I promise once it comes out, it's going to smell amazing and look amazing, and you are going to wish you had made bread pudding sooner. So now, once again, like I said, my oven is preheated to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, and I am going to bake this for about 40 minutes and then check it, and you'll check it by just giving it a little shake and seeing if the middle is set, because you don't want that to be jiggly. It'll be kind of gross. You'll probably need to bake it for additional time after the 40 minutes. But I am going to just start with 40 minutes and put this in the oven. Putting this in. I do not recommend trying this one-handed. All right, I'm back and my bread pudding is all done. It actually took me an hour to bake it, but that's just because my oven is wonky. But if your oven is normal, it'll probably take a lot less time. And bread pudding is best served warm, but I am going to let this cool down a little bit so I don't burn my tongue. So now for the vanilla sauce, or I like to call it an icing, I'm going to combine all of my ingredients in a saucepan except the vanilla extract. So I'm going to pour in 1 cup of heavy whipping cream, 1 cup of packed light brown sugar, oh my gosh, 1 cup of granulated sugar, and 1 cup of butter. And I'm just now realizing that it's 1 cup of every single ingredient. What a coinkydink. Not really a coincidence though, because baking is precise. And I'm just going to heat that over medium heat and start stirring it all together. It's gonna take about 5 minutes. And I'm just going to continue stirring this occasionally until it comes to a full boil and it starts to get all saucy-like and thickens. Right, so as you can see, my sauce has come to a full boil, so I'm going to turn off the heat and take my saucepan off the heat. It's not going to be like extremely thick if you're thinking thick. It's just going to be a thick liquid, but it's still going to be a liquid. And now I'm going to add in my vanilla extract. Not 1, but 2 tablespoons. I have used so much of my vanilla extract on this one dessert. It's a full 1/4 cup in the whole thing overall. All right, and now I'm just going to carefully stir in my vanilla. It should be starting to get thicker as it cools. And guys, this smells so amazing right now. Okay, my bread pudding is cooled and now it's time to try it. And don't forget to drizzle it with some of that delicious vanilla sauce. That is really, really, really good. It's reminding me of French toast, but there's also raisins in it, and the sauce on top is really nice. I just tried it without the sauce, and it's not the same, but it is still very good. Well, thank you so much for baking with me today. Let me know if you ever make some good old-fashioned bread pudding, and I'll see you next time. My banana bread is done.
No, it's not banana bread.
What? Take 3.